Hey everyone, my name is Wedge. I'm not gonna lie to you, I feel like today's M15 spoilers are actually spoilers for a new set, Avacyn Restored 2.0. You'll see what I mean. The first card we're looking at today is Perilous Vault. That's okay. It's 4 mana for an artifact. You can pay 5, tap it, and exile it to exile all non-land permanents. This card is overkill if I've ever seen it. It makes sense considering it's apparently from Zendikar, even though it looks just like the Hell Vault. It's just... this set is so confusing lore-wise. Perilous Vault is a super bomb in limited, commander, and possibly even standard, depending on the future of sweepers. For the power, the effect isn't actually that expensive. 9 mana over 2 turns may seem like a lot, but in a slow control deck, you'll barely notice that. Players are going to need to up their artifact hate. I'm not even joking. This could actually see play in constructed formats. This isn't like some trick. One of the reasons I say this is because you can use Nissa, then this on the same turn. That's dirty. Nissa dies, but you keep all the 4/4 land creatures. Sure, I may be overhyping this card, but it's actually one of the first Commander mythics I've seen where I didn't immediately remove it from competitive play. That's worth something. Because M15 is basically a summary of the last 5 years of sets, Avacyn's back. Avacyn Guardian Angel is 2 colorless and 3 white for a 5/4 flying vigilance angel. You can pay 2 to prevent all damage that would be dealt to another target creature this turn by sources of the color of your choice. You can also pay 7 to prevent all damage that would be dealt to target player this turn by all sources of the color of your choice. I'm not even sure what to think here. It's obvious she was made for a commander, that's clear. Her first ability is super versatile and she is a lot easier to play than her Angel of Hope variant. While the second ability is super expensive and doesn't excite me all that much, the first one's pretty great for protecting your creatures considering it's so cheap. Of course, at the end of the day, a 5 mana flying vigilance 5/4 is still considered to be pretty decent, so, you know, it's commander. Also, I wish she could find a place for standard because 3 devotion to white is pretty cool, plus her ability really is super good. Especially since I have a weird feeling mono red is going to be a thing post-rotation. I just get that vibe. Finally, she was officially spoiled. Liliana Vess is back in her original glory. We haven't seen her since M11, so this is a bit of a nostalgia trip for a lot of newer players. A lot of you are going to be upset about this, so let me help you out. First, they couldn't print Liliana of the Veil. She's already considered to be the second best planeswalker ever printed behind Wallet Sculptor. She was able to not be too dominant in Innistrad standard because black was purposefully underpowered. That isn't the case here. Black is arguably the strongest color. If the Veil was printed now, you would have an entire year of just black decks. You wouldn't and couldn't play anything else. Plus, for those of you worried about her price, I mean, like Modern Masters 2, right? Hopefully? They also couldn't print Liliana the Dark Realms because that no longer makes sense utility-wise and never really made sense flavor-wise. Her main ability revolves around getting swamps. This was particularly useful because shocklands were still in standard. By printing this Liliana, you would only be giving players a 2-month window to utilize their first ability in a fun way. This version of her just doesn't fit. When you take those things into account, Liliana Vess just makes sense. Aggressive black decks don't need a walker, so it's okay that she's 5 mana. Her first ability is pretty balanced and is useful in any format regardless of what's printed. So is her tutor ability and her ultimate. This version just makes the most sense in a meta that's obviously going to make a huge shift come September. I know that you either wanted the Veil or a new Liliana, but don't get spoiled. We have a ton of original Planeswalkers in Standard right now, just enjoy it. We didn't need a new Liliana. Not yet, just wait it out, guys. I believe in you. Might of the Tyrant is 5 colorless and 1 red for an enchantment. This is a rough translation. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control all the creatures with the greatest power on the battlefield, gain control of target creature an opponent controls until end of turn. Untap that creature and it gains haste. So basically, you get to threaten something each turn, assuming you have a superior board state. It makes sense. The interesting thing is that this is 6 mana. That removes it from standard unless something comes along that makes 6 mana red enchantments okay, which I'd be totally cool with. Beyond that, it's a huge bomb in Commander. The card's hysterical. It actually feels like it should be a rare just based on how they print cards like this. M15 is real friendly to Commander players. You guys better be enjoying this. Like, seriously, just enjoy it. There weren't many cards to talk about today, but the ones we did cover were, for the most part, unexpected and interesting. I don't think I'm alone when I say that Avacyn getting a new printing surprised me. What do you guys think about M15 tying together all these worlds into like one huge probable death trap thing? Let me know in the comments. Remember to subscribe for the latest and most reliable M15 spoiler information you could ever need. This is the Manosaurus, I'm Wedge. Thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.